My fellow Homo sapiens sapiens, what is going on? If someone's watching this, hopefully you enjoy. So this story dates back to about 2 weeks ago. So 2-week BV before video, 2-week MMV before Matt Marauder video. Now, let's get into this. I've been having a feud with Chipotle, and it's a feud that is common amongst most of the United States population, where they just don't give you enough meat, and they act like the more meat they scoop, the more money goes out of their paycheck, which, I mean, hey man, maybe that's true, but I disagree. I'd say that's not true. I might have to infiltrate into a Chipotle and like start working there for a week just to see if that's actually the case, but it really can't be, right? Give more fucking meat to the fucking customers that are coming in. The customer's always right. I get like double steak, double chicken. I'll get either of those like when I go in, like regardless, so like no matter what. But, like, it's been getting out of hand lately, and I've been having troubles with this one specific Chipotle that I go to, the one that's near my house, right? So this particular time, I went in, and it was pretty busy. So we had to wait in line for a long time, which is fine. Like, I work in a restaurant, so I know when it's slammed, don't take your time, but I know that it's going to take some time for me to get served and to get what I want, and I accept that, and that's just how it is. So I wait in this line for a long-ass time, and then finally I make my way up to the front of the line, right? And I know I want a bowl. Usually I get burritos because I'm a fucking man, but this time I wanted a bowl because a burrito would be a little too overwhelming for me at that point in time. So I get up to the line, the guy goes, "What do you want?" "I want a bowl." Okay, so boom, "What rice you want?" "White rice." Boom, pinto beans, boom. And then he slides it over to the guy that does the meat. This guy, like, he speaks broken English, but I see him every time I go in, so we're basically boys because I've seen him like 6 times. Like, he recognizes me. And I go, "I'll take double steak." Now, that was the big mistake that I made, and I'd have a hack for you guys going into Chipotle. I don't know if this is known, but I haven't heard anyone say this before. Like, this is straight off my dome, so I promise I'm not copying anyone's strategy here. But what you got to do, instead of asking for double meat off rip, basically, you just have to go like, "I'll take steak," and then when they scoop it, they'll give you an ample amount, and then you say, "Give me double steak," and then they'll give you more. So that's kind of the hack to get like extra meat even when you're getting double, because sometimes even when you get, well, we'll get into that, right? So I go, "Okay, I'll take double steak." So he gives me the most minuscule amount of steak for the double steak. Like, it was clearly not fucking enough, and they had already barely given me any rice, but I let that one slide because I don't like being too needy. Like, there's always these people, whenever I go into the Chipotle, like the last 2 times I went, the first time there was this black girl that was in line, and she kept going like, "You guys being mad disrespectful. All I'm doing is asking for because she was getting corn, and there was like a little bit of cheese in it, and she didn't want the cheese in the corn, rightfully so. Like, if I'm ordering something and something I don't want enters the bowl, like a foreign object or a foreign piece of food, like that would irk me a little bit, because if I don't want cheese, I don't want cheese. So make sure cheese don't get in the bowl. So I understand that, but she was like, "You're going to have to remake my whole goddamn bowl." And then they were like getting a little, because I don't know, this girl was being a little disrespectful. She was acting like everyone was giving her attitude, but really she was the one giving attitude, because they were down to make her a new bowl.
Yeah, my shit, son. My shit better be hot. I'll smack the shit out of you. Word of blood. Hurry up!
So that's the first altercation I had, was this girl that got the cheese in her bowl and was flipping out. Then the second time, I was waiting in line, and the guy in front of me, like while I was waiting in line, he kept looking over at me and staring at me, because like I was looking in his general direction, but I was only looking to see like how the line, like I was just watching the line work. I was like watching them scoop the meat and shit, because I had nothing else to do. I left my phone in my GR86, so I didn't want to go back, so I just had nothing else to do, so I was just watching the line work. And the guy kept looking at me, thinking that I was looking at him. Like, "No, motherfucker, I'm not grilling you shit. I'm just looking at the line work because I left my phone in my GR86. And then we get up to the thing, and the guy's like, "Okay, so I want a bowl, I want rice." And then he was like, "Yeah, scoop the rice from the bottom. I want the rice from the bottom." So, like, they were doing it, but they weren't doing it, like, from the bottom like how he wanted to. So he was already getting pissed at that. Then they moved over to the beans, and they started scooping the beans, and he was like, "Nah, scoop the beans from the bottom. I want the beans from the bottom." So they started giving him the beans from the bottom, but, like, they were doing it, like, halfway to the bottom, so, like, the motherfucker wasn't, like, satisfied. So he was just, getting more and more aggressive. And then they got to the meat, and guess what he said? So he was like this. He was like, "Yes, make sure you scoop the meat from the bottom. I want the meat from the bottom." And it was passed over to a new employee now, so he didn't get the first treatment of scooping the shit from the bottom. Like, he had never heard this before. So he, like, didn't scoop the meat from the bottom like how the guy asked. So he was like, "Make sure you scoop my meat from the bottom." And he was, like, yelling at this point. And eventually they ended up giving him some bottom meat, but he was so beyond pissed at that point. But I guess I should get into the actual topic of the video. So the guy gives me not an ample amount of double steak, right? So, and I'm not afraid to do what I'm about to do. Like this situation that I'm about to explain to you is why I like what I live for in my life. Like these are the moments that make me so happy. Okay, so I see that he doesn't give me enough steak in the double steak. Like it's an inhumane amount of meat that he gives me for double steak. So I fill up with joy, happiness, just whatever good emotions, just from my toes to my fucking ears, dude. It just is tingling because I'm so happy that I'm about to get to say what I'm going to say. I look at the guy dead in his fucking eyes and I pause for a few seconds. So we're just looking at each other for a few seconds and I go, give me triple steak. And the motherfucker just like stares at me for a second and he's like, triple steak. You want triple steak? And I was like, yeah, give me triple steak. So he scoops the steak and I was so ready to be like, throw quadruple steak on there. I wanted to say throw quadruple steak on there so bad, but he did give me enough for the triple steak. So he passes my shit. I get pico, I get guac. I don't get sour cream because that shit's weird. And I don't get lettuce either. And then I get corn. So that's my order, right? And he passes over to the cashier. And he goes to the guy, he goes to his ear, he goes, triple steak. The cashier like does a double take to the guy. And he's like, triple steak? And he's trying to fucking, so he's shocked. And then I'm trying to pay, right? And I'm ready. Like, pockets ain't empty, cuz. Like, you know how I'm coming.
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
So I'll pay for that triple steak. So he's like trying to tabulate it into the fucking register. And like, they had no, like, he didn't know how to ring in this triple steak. So it took like 5 minutes for him to end up figuring out how to end up ringing it in. So I held up that line even more for my triple steak. But that fucking show serves them straight. And I still tipped them good. Fuck is you talking about? I still tipped them good. So that's the Chipotle incident, the triple steak incident. It was pretty catastrophic, but we made it through. So in this video, I hooked you guys up with how to get the most meat out of your double meat. And don't be afraid to ask for triple steak if these motherfuckers aren't giving you enough, because it feels great to do it. And that's it.
I'll take a burrito, please. That's fine, yeah. Pinto. Steak. Can I get double, please? Yes, please.
You can't see the bowl anymore.
Pico. And that's it.